The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has done some amazing things for the Zelda franchise, since it introduced a ton of new and cool concepts. However, a lot of the things they came up with were a bit weird, and those also didn't make it into the game. And that's what we're going to look at today. The Zelda HD experience, a The Legend of Zelda demo of the Wii U, was shown at E3 2011, and that's kind of where it all started. In June that year, Shigeru Miyamoto confirmed that Nintendo's planning on creating a HD version of a Legend of Zelda title. Now, Breath of the Wild was officially announced in a Wii U Direct presentation on January 23, 2013. Aonuma stated that the game intended to challenge what was expected of the Legend of Zelda franchise, such as having to complete the dungeons in a specific order. And finally, during the Game Awards 2014, Miyamoto and Aonuma showcased another gameplay video. It demonstrated the scale of Hyrule, which was designed with the open world concept of the original Legend of Zelda in mind. It also showed the first use of the paraglider, map features, as well as additional riding and fighting mechanics. Features to be used on the Wii U gamepad were also shown during these videos, which were later removed during development when the game was ported to the Nintendo Switch. Now, around this point, they had the general idea of what became the legendary Breath of the Wild. However, before this happened, they came up with some, interesting ideas. Well, alright, let's be honest, completely crazy ones. Things like a Bionic Link, Japanese-inspired Link, a one-armed Link, and even a biker Link was made at some point. But let's start from the very beginning and look at all of them one by one. First up, our robot-like Link. If you look at the pictures, then you can see it's almost as though he has been infused with the technology that made the Guardians. It's a bit like Calamity Ganon, who turned into a mixture of Guardian parts, original Ganondorf, and some dark essence. Now, what the plan was with this is a bit unclear, since there's only some concept art. No description of any sorts. Now, the only thing they mentioned with any of these designs is that they were experimenting with the standard conventions of the series and took a lot of insane ideas from younger developers. However, no exact reason for any of the earlier designs. Now, there's only one thing you can think of when it comes to the origin of this design: Calamity Ganon. Just look at him. You can quite clearly see they either moved that concept to this boss fight when it was scrapped, or they both had this design from the very start. However, they dropped this concept for Link, and Ganon remained like that. It would have been cool though if Link was revived like that. His body would also function as his toolkit instead of the sheikah slate, which is an interesting concept, but extremely weird for a Zelda game. You can even see an item similar to the beetle from Skyward Sword. It's all a bit odd, really. In the other concept art pieces is also a Samus version of Link, even with a Metroid on the side. However, it's still extremely different. It has a bit of a spacesuit-like design and kind of reminds me of the Space Mario artwork from Mario in Super Mario Land 2's 6 Golden Coins. It's just like Link, but this time in a classic spacesuit with a Master Sword and Hylian shield. And to be honest, I don't even have a clue when this happened in the development cycle. And one thing is sure, we didn't see it in the final game at all. Now, it could be that they later used the concept for Super Mario Odyssey, since that game has space levels and even a fitting suit. Yet again, very strange to see in the Zelda universe, and I'm quite glad they left this one out. It wouldn't have created better ideas than the final product. Now, for our next one, we're going to look at a familiar design. Something most of us must have seen in some form or another. This one seems to be inspired by Japanese culture, mostly the older part of it. The entire thing has a Japanese adventurer vibe. This wouldn't have messed with the entire final concept as much as any of the others I've mentioned so far. And out of all of them, this is also the most plausible one, and it would have been a cool twist on the other hand. Throw this version of Link into Kakariko Village and there will be no problem at all. He will just blend in with the setting. It's more that kind of vibe. And they some sort of put it in the game, since some armor pieces also have that ancient Japanese and adventurer feeling. Besides that, it also looks a lot more classic jrpg style, which could have also been an influence. Now, something that could have worked, but would have been really weird. A bit like Berserk, maybe. Here, Link only has one arm, which could have been fitting in the game since Link died and lost to Ganon before the start of the game. And because of that, Link lost his arm and is a more dark version of himself, a bit like an edgy but still epic version. This would have influenced the start of the game for sure, and most likely the combat to an extent as well, since you can't even use a shield or torch. It also reminds me a bit of the final form of Rowlet, which I'm actually quite a big fan of, but I have no idea what kind of impact this could have on the game, since there's only the art, sadly enough. Now for the class clown, the hipster biker Link, who looks like some weird ripoff of a character from a bad version of Family Guy. Now, the bike ended up staying.
It's an actual motorcycle in The Legend of Zelda. How is this real?
But the overall look was gone, which was certainly a good thing. It's a bit of a weird misfit if you look at all of them, since most others would have worked and have some cool options, but this one really doesn't. This one would have been a bit weird, a bit like the cartoony-esque, kid-friendly Wind Waker direction, but then the completely wrong direction. Now, could any of these work as a base for Link? Well, yeah, some would open up possibilities we never imagined. Especially the Bionic Link and one-arm Link could create some awesome story and gameplay options, completely different from what we are used to, but still, with a lot of possibilities. However, sadly enough, they were all scrapped, and we might never ever see them again. Hey everybody, I put a little poll in the upper right corner, so vote which of the 5 concept arts is the most badass and most cool and most amazing according to you, because I'm quite curious what all of you think about them, because some of them are really cool and some of them are garbage. So vote in the upper right corner and I'm really curious what all of you think. Thanks for watching everybody, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you like this stuff, because more is coming. Be sure to tell me in the comments what you thought about this video, because this is kind of a new thing. I haven't really done this often or much. Tell me what you think about it, give me thumbs up to show support, whatever. Tell me what you think, yay! Have a great day, bye!